background on this, by the way, because I had a sponsor that didn't pay, and so I had to take them off, and I haven't updated the graphic yet. But I do have these fantastic people back here. Kalshi, love those guys. Chris Putnam, CEO of the Dallas Express, joining me right now. I need to pin this to the top of my page on X. Go hit the retweet button if you're watching it right now, Chris, over on your page. And I want to talk to you about something because I learned something the other day that threw me. And can you see me? Can you see me live right here? Here's Jessamine Dodd too. By the way.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. We're live already, Jessamine, because you're live.
I'm great, thanks. Hi, Tim. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
I don't think I asked how you were.
I'm
didn't ask how you were.
Okay, that's the game we're playing tonight. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the game we play every night. We need to watch the show. All right, so the other day I was my ex had a lot of stuffed animals, and I said I was only going to keep a few of them. And one of them was the Universal Studios unicorn from Despicable Me, because it's the one that the little girl goes, "It's so fluffy, I'm going to die."
It's so fluffy.
So
we have that one too.
So I pull it up.
And you know what the Hot Crazy Matrix says about unicorns? You gotta trap them and study them.
Well, there's something about this unicorn that caught my friend's eye, by the way, and it's these symbols right here. They're pedo symbols.
Oh wow!
What?
Yes, according to the FBI, they are pedo symbols, and I'll pull up the tweet. I had this sitting around the house, and I'm a very rarely am I a conspiracy person, but
I'm often a conspiracy person.
So Universal. By the way, I love that I can't search my own tweets on here quickly. I can't get enough of it. I really truly love.
Okay, do I need to go get my unicorn from Universal?
No.
Okay.
And so I want to show you guys this. Share screen. Okay. So this is an FBI symbols and logos thing that somebody sent me. See this guy right down here?
Yes.
Again, I want you to take a look at this.
That's wild.
Wow.
It's literally the same. I can angle it, I think, to get the right, but hidden in plain sight. And when I put this up online, like people, so when I pulled this out of a box, because I have a couple of boxes of stuffed animals I'm going to donate to like Ronald McDonald House or whatever it is. When I pulled this out of the box, my buddy screamed. Like he goes, "Pedos!" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he pulled that up on his phone and he goes, that is the symbol of that. Is that not incredible?
That's wild. It's hiding in plain sight.
Literally.
It was just a coincidence, like a design.
No.
Like they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make his nostrils swirly." No, you think it's on
because you see how hard there's like hard angles on that swirl. They aren't just swirls here. They have the same kind of hard angles as that design.
Do you think it has anything to do with the movie? I mean, I love the Despicable Me movies. I think they're hilarious, but it is about a spy who adopts 3 girls. But I love
Yes, and then they have to have pedo symbols. No, and I'll tell you why. Because take a look at the. Oh, it is in them. It's the same in the movie. You can see them. It's hard to.
I don't.
Unbelievable.
It's right there.
Wow. I'm gonna have to check.
Well, you're wrong because it's there, Jessamine. With your
I'm looking at it now, and I've watched this. I think we've watched this movie. I don't even know. At least
I've seen it many
10 times.
But like again, it's that whole. I don't need to pull that up because I have. It's the whole hiding in plain sight thing. That like I can't believe that's actually a thing.
And the hearts, butterflies and hearts. I didn't know this.
That's a thing.
It's shocking.
It's a thing.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Musk Reserve. How long have you guys been my fan? I'm not your fan at all. Fake Ethiopian. Hi, Donnie.
Okay, let me go ahead and comment something on that because I have noticed whether it's on X. I think the worst is probably TikTok. If you guys ever go on TikTok, if you even like a celebrity's tweet, if you even like a politician's tweet, like clockwork, within 5 minutes, there's like 20, like, oh, I like this thing that Ben Affleck posted about Batman, right? And within 2 minutes, there's about 5 in your messages. "Hello, dear. Thank you for being #1 fan. This is my private account." And I'm like, report.
Come on my show. Do you get the podcast invites? I get the podcast invites now.
No,
Chris,
but I
have you
get
ever
the
gotten a
thank you for
podcast
being my
invite?
number one.
Yeah. I've seen the dummy podcast.
The so you know what the story is on those, right? You know what they do? I'm going to actually pull this up because they try to get control of your Facebook page. Let me see if I can pull, because I have these. I mean, I get these regular.
And is it do they ransom it?
Yeah,
back to
but
you?
like they use it for nefarious reasons. But see, I get too many.
I think that happened to me on a dating app.
Really?
once. That's right.
Oh.
No.
Someone took over your account. No, but it's the funniest part is when it's like a celebrity that I've interviewed who's like cell phone I have, and I'm like, what? Yeah, okay, you're definitely
Oh.
being reported.
I have too many things that have invitation in them to pull one up. I literally have two. Oh, wait. Here we go. Share page. Sorry. I'm like, I get these all the time now. Invitation to be a guest on Amy Landino podcast, whatever it is. It's Justin Greenberg. Who can forget? Senior and talented agent of Amy's team. Detailed therapy with Amy. I don't even know who this is. But this is like somebody who they and what you'll do is they'll say, hey, we need access to your Instagram. Tim, I live in Hereford, Maryland. Good for you. Okay. I left Maryland a long time ago.
Two things come out of Maryland, football and crab cakes.
Man, I tell you what, you go to Jimmy's. You ever been to Jimmy's Famous Crab Cakes?
I haven't. I've heard it's
Fantastic.
spectacular.
Fantastic. And hello, Johnson Robinson. Sounds like a very real name. If you guys are here, make sure you say hi in the chat. Make sure you hit retweet on the stream. Jessamine, that includes you. Hit the retweet button.
Where is that?
We're gonna go to the top of my page where it's pinned, and I'm gonna
go to Tim's page. I'm not on X right now. I'm on the Restream. Hold on a second.
I'm doing the same.
Doing my
helps out everything. Also, by the way, here's a little tip and trick. If you want tweets to go farther,
yes, I need tips and tricks. Thank you.
You get people to hit the bookmark button as well. Bookmark button is worth more than a retweet in the algorithm.
Here we go. Conspiracy. There we go. I see it right near.
Conspiracy.
And is it
By the way, it was supposed to be Nancy Mace tonight. She canceled on me 45 minutes before we were supposed to do an interview.
Is she making more amateur porn?
Man, that's what I wanted to talk to her about. Like, I don't understand, because I don't think she's done a lot of friendly media, and I was going to be relatively friendly today. And like for them to cancel on me an hour before, and then I looked it up, and she had a committee hearing the entire time that we were scheduled. I wonder if that was a staff thing or what. But like, I'm kind of at the level. Do you get to the level, Chris? Because you're the CEO of a publication. I understand we need to do interviews with people. Same with you, Jessamine. But like, do you get to the point where like somebody who's like a VIP cancels on you, and you're like, nah, done.
We had that a couple weeks ago with Oliver Stone.
Really?
No way.
We saw it scheduled. Yeah.
That's wild.
We're doing this We're doing this series. We're based in Dallas, and we're doing this series on
Wait, hold
JFK
on.
files.
The Dallas Express is based in Dallas?
It shockingly.
Crazy. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, and so we had got both Roger Stone and Oliver Stone actually to commit to interviews. I don't know if you know, Roger Stone wrote a book about various conspiracy theories related to JFK, and knew some of the principals personally. So this Monday, we actually have a huge event here in Dallas, Who Killed JFK, and have a lot of prominent JFK researchers coming in. So we're loading up stories behind that, but yeah, we lost them, and then they haven't surfaced yet. And I'm just like, stop chasing.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't need to chase anymore. I get, every top expert from Heritage, and then I get the members of Congress who I want to have on, and I just like, if you're looking for friendly media, which I was going to kind of be friendly, like I got up early this morning to get that like together, and then you text me. You couldn't text me last night. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Well, she's making a lot of news though lately, so it'd be an interesting.
It would be
discussion.
a very interesting discussion. I don't think anybody's asked her any hard questions about anything that's been going on. My big question for her that I was going to ask today is, why did you have to take it into your own hands? Like, why couldn't you, why couldn't you just call the cops? Like, at what point did it turn to a sitting congresswoman needing to take it to the floor of the House? because that's
This guy named Tim Young canceled on me one time. What a son of a!
I canceled on you last time.
I know you did. You did. That's okay. I left work. I only left work a half an hour early. It's not.
Well,
a big
I'm
deal.
going to be doing it every night because I just picked up a new sponsor that's not the Dallas Express, and but I will be promoting Dallas Express things. By the way, I'm over on the. Hold on.
By the way, I want to talk more about JFK because that's crazy.
Well, hold on. I want to do. Let's talk about this
Yeah.
event, Dallas Express, JFK. Do
Yeah.
I have a JFK files? Here we go. From Ticks to Tricks. Is that what? No, that's not it. Where's that? Where's the event at? There we go. I got it.
Oh, okay. To the event.
Yeah. I just needed to find because why would I be prepared, Chris? Here you go. Who killed JFK?
Who killed
Yeah, there it
JFK?
is.
Well, obviously.
By the way, does the picture give it away?
Dude, I
That's all.
absolutely have believed that for a long time, and I'll tell you why. I went to the LBJ Museum in the library.
Yeah.
And one of the exhibits was how Russia, after JFK was shot, believed that it was LBJ, and so they pulled all of their agents out of America for fear that he would go after them next.
It's
and
logical.
So, do you believe that Oswald was a patsy? He was, kind of the fall guy.
So in terms of the event, we actually, as I mentioned, we have a couple of really, really prominent researchers. Dennis McQuiston is one. He's actually a former UT Dallas professor that had a media platform on PBS and some other outlets, as well as Dory Wiley, who's been here in Dallas, who's kind of backfilled what Dennis used to do. Dennis went off and moved to France, and he calls me one morning. We'd done this story preceding the JFK file, the release, initial release, and it's the thesis that we kind of like circle around is that JFK certainly had some knowledge, and then there's one individual's name who always comes up in these discussions. His name is Billy Saul Estes. If you've ever heard of him, he was close to LBJ, and there's actually an audio recording of him talking to another member of LBJ's administration and saying, "We feel bad, we shouldn't have done this." Wow. And interestingly, a personal friend, a guy who actually lives in Colleyville, Texas, who was personal friends with Billy Saul Estes, and this guy has been telling me for 15 years that he knew this guy, and this was before I ever heard the guy's name, that the story was true, and that this guy's character is unquestionable. So it's really interesting. But at the event, we're going to present a number of number of different scenarios, as well as why the conventional Lee Harvey Oswald single gun theory doesn't really make much sense.
Wow, I like it. Hold on, I'm going to put you in the big screen. There you go.
I have a cool stunt date, by the way. I take ladies down to the grassy knoll.
Well, that's if you're a big.
That's actually kind of cool.
It's very cool, but the big sponsorship on this too. Don't you have? You get to if you're. I don't know if somebody's already got this all right, but you got to stay in the JFK suite, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's another interesting point. I'm glad you raised that. So my publisher is a hotel magnate, and he owns the Fort Worth Hilton, which was the hotel where JFK spent his last night. Yes, and so as part of our title sponsorship, not claimed yet, you get a night in the JFK suite, dinner, wine, a lot of other things. You get the Grassy Knoll wine and charcuterie basket as well.
That's it's kind of like that Dark Tourism, if you've ever seen that show.
I haven't, but it sounds great.
Basically, he goes around to different, there's different tourism, like tours around the world. Like there's a cartel one where they go to like Pablo Escobar's old house, to the jails, and then they have like a fake kidnapping. There's one where they go out to like Chernobyl, and they have to stay far away, and they've got like these radiation, where like temperature like gauges and stuff like that. Like they have some really weird stuff.
If we're going to Chernobyl, let's suit up.
Let's just go.
That's
yeah,
an easy ride.
It's an interesting series. Huh?
I don't think you still do.
Yeah, I think so.
You can get that close, but they only let you get a certain amount. But it's this whole thing, and there's a show called Dark Tourism. And this seems like it would be a great episode. I know that sounds weird to say, but like following JFK's last days.
A lot of people
are into that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I did the Jack the Ripper tour in London. That was fantastic.
I busted up Congress doing a tour of the JFK stuff. That was my fault that I did a video when Anna Paulina Luna was going to bring a whole congressional delegation down, that she said she needed to come down in person and ask questions in Dallas about the about whatever happened.
Oh, right.
Wild.
Yeah.
And then I had a viral video that was of me down at the book repository talking about how I'm down here now, so it saves you all the money. Just tell me who I need to ask questions for.
I saw
Got
that.
about a
Yeah,
half
that was
million
great.
views, and then they didn't do it. Although
Nobody
I did
asked-
watch their hearing, and it was fantastic. And I got to tell you, so my old landlord is her chief of staff, and we used to watch the JFK file shows pretty regularly, actually, like on the weekends. It's because there's nothing on TV anyway, and so we would watch, like, the History Channel stuff. And he got to help her. It was like the peak. I don't know if you've ever witnessed someone's like the peak of their career, like a perfect game or something like that. But like this was like his perfect game because he's her chief of staff now, and he got to like help her with the questions for the experts in the JFK thing. And I was in his office, like we're watching the TV together, watching this, and I elbowed him and I go, this is it for you, right? Like this is the end.
Yes,
Yeah.
the pinnacle.
Yeah, but I mean, it really is. Like, I watch this guy, like, he's lit up like Christmas. He's like, I think he's like 60 now. No, he's like, he's 62 because he just had a birthday theme with the home run, Mayor's home run stuff. And so, like, he's watching this, and I'm like, this is it, man. It doesn't get better. Like, it's just downhill now. You're just going to get your retirement, get the fuck out of here. That's the point.
Well, I've been a bit of a junkie for a number of years. The really interesting thing is, I'm old enough to have been around when the first JFK movie came out, with the Stone movie came out, right? And this was about the time that I had Reagan posters on my dorm room walls, and I would have said, I did say, this guy's a kook. He's a total nut. And he was actually really close, it looks like, really, really close. And so I had the opportunity last year to actually go do a viewing of JFK the movie at the Texas Theater where they arrested Oswald with Oliver Stone.
Oh, that's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was wild. And I just to me, the JFK assassination is the original sin, for our country, and the military industrial complex warning that came from Eisenhower shortly there before it. And it made things like COVID and Hunter Biden laptop, all those things possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like it's important that we cleanse ourselves of it by, trying to find the truth.
I remember when that movie came out and I watched it. I remember exactly when I was watching it. And I remember it messed me up for about 3 days afterwards, because I took it as like, this could really happen. This could be the truth. This could be what
really happened.
I was a teenager. I think like 15 or 16.
It almost happened again last year.
And I was like, I was hysterical. Like I was bawling my eyes and I was so angry. And I was like, could our government really be like this? My mom was like, oh, bless your heart. Because I was like 15 and she's like, oh, sweetie.
We don't think about that, Chris, by the way, like, because it seems so long ago, and it's honest to God, like, I mean, not to sound like a total ignorant person, but I had almost forgotten that Trump was almost assassinated. I mean,
well, that's because the media doesn't feel it necessary to remind you.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted to get off that story as quickly as they could in the middle of an election,
Yeah.
One thing that we do hear a lot about that is, just if it grazed his ear, if he, if it was nicked, whatever. The point is that there were 2 people died behind him. Like,
Well, yeah.
They weren't like it. They're like, oh, it was a stunt. Okay, but there's people that passed away
In the line of fire.
I'd argue there's still a lot more questions about that assassination attempt than actually the JFK.
I feel like they brushed it over very quickly, and we really don't know much about the suspect. We don't know much about anything. We didn't hear from any doctors.
It's very much like It's very much like the Vegas shooting situation.
One of the few times that AOC made an incredible point. The fact that they did not close off the area that was within the firing range of an AR-15.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, I don't think you're saying what you want to say here, kid. Like, when she said that, I was like, oh my God, like, that actually makes a hell of a lot of sense. On top of, there is no way in my mind that they didn't allow that trans, which we still don't know that it's trans, by the way, because they won't release that information, but that trans up on the roof. We still see pictures of, like, isn't it like the middle school pictures we see of that kid?
Yeah, it's bizarre. And he was in a BlackRock commercial. There's all sorts of weirdness.
Yeah.
And he was up there for a while before they identified him, and then he was up there for a while after they identified him.
Yeah.
I mean, they had an opportunity to shoot first.
Yeah.
And they let people leave.
I
Like
don't
you
think it's
said,
a dispute.
they didn't
Yeah.
you know, I mean, people were running for their safety, but at some point, you know, you do block off you know, so the surrounding area so that if there was someone else there who intended to do harm, they don't get away, they don't leave. If there was someone else that was planning on following up, if he missed, we don't know a lot. It's very fishy. It's very strange. I do think about that a lot. And, you know, I saw somebody post about that today on X, and they said, you know, it's really weird that we still don't really know what happened. And we don't even know who this kid was, where he came from. But, you know, there's other deaths where we know everything. We know what grade they got in primary school. You know, we know everything about them, what they had for breakfast. We don't know anything about this. At least, you know, it's weird, right?
Well, and, you know, have you ever noticed that the second that they, you know, have their teeth into, you know, some sort of, you know, hate crime, whether it's a fake hate crime or not, like a Juicy Smollett thing, we got all this information on, you know, who was involved, right? And they immediately run straight to that. Then you get in these situations, like, come on. Now, I don't know about you guys, but like, to me, it's just another building block on this, you know, pile of frustration of things that I don't think any of us are confident that the federal government's being completely honest with us still.
No.
The Epstein file stuff.
I mean, the Epstein dude. I can't with the Cash and Dan Bongino coming out saying we saw the file, he didn't do it himself,
weird.
And now there's going to be video of it, and I'm like, cool. It's still impossible. I mean, by the way, Jim Bob making the point here. They pressure washed the roof the very next day. They really cleaned that up, sort of like, you know, when if you ever seen Men in Black, they showed up with the black trucks, they wiped it all out, and then
if you watch the tapes, right? You watch that day, people had their cell phones out, everyone was taping. The people in the back are just kind of standing around like, oh, there's somebody dead here. And they let Trump stand up, you know? When you compare that, and I've watched it side by side with that video compared to the day that Reagan was shot, which we were all watching on television, and they dogpiled on him and like moved him like undercover.
That's what they're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be able to get up.
Right, she's looking around and he's getting up.
Or remember they had the C team on detail because they weren't providing Trump with, you know, a lot of the same level of detail that other presidential candidates had. And then I can't remember, was it the first lady that like needed some additional detail that day? It was somebody else in the current administration at the time. And so, you know, that's why they got the C team as several obese women. I mean,
they look like Rosie O'Donnell, but like not to like get like totally into the weeds, but it is conspiracy night now, as I declared it as I was writing the copy for the it was the only rally that had been covered on CNN.
That part too. There's just so many dots that have not been connected. It's just these dots hanging, and it's like, why was that? Why was that? Why did this? Why did this? You know, and anytime, you know, even a celebrity like Lindsay Lohan cuts her finger, and there's like 20 doctors outside the ER giving reports and things like that. I don't know if they've let any doctors, you know, say, hey, this is what we did. This is how he's recovering. We didn't hear anything. It was very strange. And it was like this guy said, they pressure washed the roof the next day. That's loads of evidence right there.
What was the explanation provided for why this kid was in a BlackRock commercial?
None.
Did you ever hear why? I've never heard anything. No.
Look, you're the CEO, a publisher, right? What's your total title at the end? The Daily Express.
I'm the chief executive officer.
Yeah, okay, so I got to get that right. CEO of Dallas Express. You sit atop a throne of news. You're in the middle of all this stuff coming in. You have a bunch of reporters, very good reporters, underneath of you. By the way, you of all people would have heard something. Right? I mean,
you would think.
It is crazy how it like kind of just went whoosh and went away. But you know, it's the same thing. Like again, and people can beat me up on this, and how dare I? Because apparently I'm not MAGA enough or whatever. I never really was MAGA enough for anybody. When we do that, anytime we do a purity test, I never pass them because I have free thought. Cash and Dan don't seem like they're telling the truth sometimes.
No. I've interviewed people and you know, they've been compromised. I'm sorry.
Let me finish my thought. because I feel like they handed them, here's the file. They go, here's the file. And because remember, he said, I saw the file. He did it, he did himself in. So he opened it up, and the file that was presented to him said XYZ and had already been cooked. And he goes, well, I saw the file, so that's that. No more questions, which also is.
Or it's like the ridiculousness with Bondi when she brought a lot of your contemporaries up to the
Don't
White
you
House.
put me in the same fucking category as those fucking influencers.
No,
That was
you
the
weren't there.
that was
You weren't
ooh.
there. But they all played along. There was no new information there.
They had empty binders full of nothing. Was there even paper in there? I don't even know what they put in there. And
there
they
was
came up and
paper.
they were smiling. I'm like, you're holding up a binder,
They were having a
smiling
great time.
about children being abused.
Mhm.
Like there's
They were just
nothing
happy to
to
be
be
there.
fun. There's nothing to smile about.
A
They
good
didn't
friend-
tell us anything. They did nothing. It was just, that was so frustrating. And it's like, why are we giving it to, I guess they called them X influencers, like X
X.
influencers, which is a new term. I've never heard that. I don't know what that's a term that they use.
It's so weird because I've been around for longer than most of these people, and they just kind of post memes all the time. And I actually got known on my own opinions, and it was a crazy concept. It's a different world, but I have a friend of mine who was part of that group that was there. I actually do have one friend who I would consider a contemporary, and he said the best decision he made that day, coming out of that door of the front of the White House, was turning left because the media did not see him there. And he escaped the whole thing. And he actually said he had thumbed through those binders when they handed it to him. But the problem is with that situation, if you're an influencer, say, there was a couple of fucking goofs in that pile, even if you like them. If you're an influencer and you're being given what you're being told is the most the data from the most important and scandalous pedo ring in the world that's ever been in modern times, do you ever stop and say, why me? Do you ever say maybe this should be going to attorneys general instead of me? Shouldn't there be
just release it to the public? Release it to the public. Let us all see it. Let us news reporters, people who that's our life. We live and breathe the news. Let us see it. Put it on X. Don't give it to an influencer or a headline poster on the internet to interpret. Oh, we're going to give it to them because it'll get the most views. No, you know what'll get the most views? If you go in on the State Department website and you post the whole damn file, you post a link to it, and then they can go ahead and repost whatever part they want and give their commentary. But we've never seen it. We're not going to see it. No. There's something in there. And the way that,
and she actually discredited a lot of those folks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
By pulling that stunt, and that's unfortunate because, we need those voices, a lot of them. But it's important that those voices, while they're monetizing and building following, that they're also accurate, and telling the truth and actually, reporting real news.
Yeah.
I just have a real problem with a lot of this. There is a shift in the media on X in particular. By the way, my Instagram is finally taking off again, which is really odd.
Congratulations.
But it's a lot of these people who have full staffs who just rip people's hard work all day long and don't share it and rip videos. I mean, this Carlos Tercios. Is that how I say his last name? Works for you?
Yeah, Tercios.
That fucking guy. That guy, let me tell you something. He's going and getting video with crazy stuff. He's out there in the field. He's making, I think, $12 an hour to do this. Puts his life on the line.
He's getting paid better than that.
And he's doing hard work. And then his stuff gets stolen by somebody who literally they'll take a good video, like his breaking crazy videos, throw their watermark on it and put it out like it's their own thing.
Yeah, no, that's right. And then it's a great example because Carlos is fearless.
He's incredible.
He's a Hispanic guy. He'll roll right into the middle of, deportation protests. He's so well known now in some of those circles, they start chanting his name when they see him. And you know what he does? He just walks right up to the desk. He goes and starts asking questions.
That guy's going to get shot. But anyway, I'm glad he does it now. He really is.
By the way, I mean, we had an extreme example of exactly what you're describing. We broke at the end of last year what was arguably the single biggest, most viral investigative
Oh.
story of the year, and that was Granger, right? I mean, my good friend, and I know you know him too, Alexander Muse. He kind of started that going by sharing it and did it the right way by crediting us. Lives at TikTok, then picked it up. Elon then picks it up. I mean, this is all while I'm eating nachos down at the Rattlesnake Bar at the Ritz-Carlton. And so, like, you know, next thing you know, 100 million views. We're doing media 24/7. But, you know, I would say a good 80% of those outlets did not share that. Ironically, in this case, you know, the ones that actually did credit us and even acknowledged our reporting are some of the left outlets like Politico. You know, they did actually like a huge story about how we beat the lazy, you know, DC media to one of the biggest stories of the year.
Yeah.
So it happens all the time. Incredibly
Yeah,
frustrating.
December 20th. You guys had I mean, that was a hell of a story. Is this when he went to
The
talk
New
to
York,
his family?
the New York Post told me we should have won a Pulitzer, and I'm like, we're not getting any Pulitzer.
No, of course not.
But,
Was
but-
this
but I'd love to see Carlos get one.
was this the family when he went after the family? Oh no, this is the opposite.
No, I believe that's when he went to the
No.
retirement community looking for her.
Wow.
And that was the first part of it. And then, yeah,
Wow.
you know what was so, for those who don't know the story,
Yeah.
the congresswoman from Fort Worth, it had been known to be in decline for some time. And she was literally just as of last March, I think, the appropriations chair.
Mhm.
And as of July, she stopped voting.
So,
And we went to seek her out to find out how she's going to vote on the appropriations bill at the end of the year. And her office was shuttered.
Wow.
And then I got a tip that she was at a retirement slash, what they call them,
It was
memory care,
Memory care,
care facility. Yeah. This one's like both. And so I sent Carlos up there, and sure, that's where she was, and that was her home. She hadn't voted, you know, in 6 or 7 months, and nobody reported it until we did.
wow.
My dog heard the knock
You can hit the mute.
in the video.
You can mute yourself. But yeah, no, this is. Hold on, I'll play this little. I want to get the audio on this because this is. I mean, again, incredible reporting by you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for the week before Christmas,
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
yes.
Carl Sersons with the Dallas Express. We were just wondering if Congressman Kate Granger would be open to an entry in Sersons' budget right now. It's being debated in D.C.
Yeah, this is a personal residence, actually. Okay. Yeah, so this isn't an office or any sort of come and go. Yeah, everything would need to be by appointment through her. These are residences. Okay. Yeah, I don't have
Is this the facility?
Yeah, and I totally expected them to basically deny it or, you know, say nothing or just call security. And the guy comes out and you're about to get to it. He's like, yeah, this is her home. This is where
He
she
said that.
lives."
No, he said that already. There, I'll go back and. Yeah,
Oh,
but
right.
he confirms it right out the gate.
Larry, can I help you with something?
Yes.
Carl Sersons with the Dallas Express. We were just wondering if Congressman Kate Granger would be open to an entry in Sersons' budget right now. It's being debated in D.C.
Yeah, this is a personal residence, actually. Okay. Yeah, so this isn't an office or any sort of come and go. Yeah, everything would need to be by appointment through her. These are residences. Okay. Yeah, I don't have a contact for you or anything like that, but I would reach out directly to her team. Okay. And set something up.
Well, the reason why we came is because her office is empty.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that, unfortunately. But this is her home.
Okay.
So.
I mean, dude, that guy's
Yeah.
fired, right?
Yeah, isn't that HIPAA?
Nope.
Because I mean, you can't tell somebody that if she's a patient, if it's a memory care.
There's more of a resident in this
Yeah.
case,
Resident?
maybe.
It's a senior
Yeah.
living facility.
Okay,
And you know
senior
that-
level. Oh, so it's not like a SNF or a long-term Alzheimer's type care. It's just an apartment.
No, it
It
is.
is.
Oh, you live there.
So technically,
you live
would she
there.
be a patient
so-
or would she? Either way, it's crazy.
Well,
Yeah, I
what you
don't
should
know.
do is go read the story and then you'll find out.
By the way, what's wild is all like this. Not the Dallas Morning News. They actually did report the story. They didn't credit us, of course. To your, that was
Yeah.
the point I was trying to. The nut bags at what I call the New Jersey Star Telegram. That's the Fort Worth Star Telegram. They're owned by a New Jersey hedge fund. There's nothing Texas about them. They were like all over social media calling us fake news. And I mean, the New York Times, New York Post, Israel Times, you know, at like every major media outlet in the world was talking about this. Was on every single cable news show, and they're so apoplectic about the fact that there's an alternative, you know, to them telling you exactly what you can, you know, see and think about. That, you know, their default is fake news. I'm like, there's nobody that's faker news than you guys. You report on Russian collusion, fake COVID origins, vaccines that aren't vaccines, you know, like Hunter Biden laptop. Like, these people, they're just unbelievable how shameful they are, you know, with their lies. And then, of course, you know, the gaslighting.
Yeah. Like Feinstein, do they hang on so the entourage keeps getting the paycheck? No. It's the other way around. So it's the entourage that keeps rolling them out so that everyone keeps getting the paycheck. I think that's what happens there. Isn't that's kind of your opinion on that, right, Chris? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No, 100%. And I think that was probably the case here, is they wanted to because she was scheduled to retire this last January. And I think that they just wanted her, you know, to be able, she had already been too far gone to serve, but they wanted to mask that to keep it from the public. And the problem is, if you're a resident in her district, you were not represented in Congress for the last 7, including during a you know, really delicate transition period. It would have been so much more graceful, and people would, you know, have not piled on if they had just said, look, she's not doing well. She's 83 or 82, and she needs to stop now. Nobody would have had a problem with that, but instead they tried to cover it up. And think about the cover up. Mike Johnson knew about that. He had to have.
Yeah.
A lot of members knew about it. And just like the Biden thing, they came out later, go, yeah, we saw the signs of decline. They knew.
Yeah. When you're taking roll call, when you're trying to figure out who can vote on what, like again, it just makes, I don't know. It's really, it's insulting. But again, this is a Congress that, you know, isn't doing anything anyway, it seems like.
Does it not feel like right now, to me, it feels exactly like 2016. Yep. And except the difference is this time Trump had the right surrogates around him, and they came out of the gate doing all the right things with respect to USAID. You know, and I'm close to that situation. I have 2 friends that are very senior in that organization in the State Department. So I was getting the play-by-play on it, and they were doing all the right things. And now here we are, how many months later? 5, 6 months later?
Yeah.
But has Congress done? Nothing. I mean, and we can get into the big, beautiful bill if you want. That's a different discussion. I assume you saw what Elon posted.
Yeah.
But it's literally
about that
like
today.
a flashback. Like, he did all these things that the public's like tuned out because they think he's there, and all these problems are being solved, but they're being solved by executive order, and there's no codification of any of it in Congress. It's incredibly frustrating. And then now go back to conspiracy stuff. Then, like, where's the Epstein stuff? Where's the rest of the JFK stuff?
Yeah.
Right. It feels like I've seen this movie before, and I know how it ends. It's not good.
No, not at all. What do you got, Jasmine?
No, I agree with Chris. It feels like there's a lot happening, but nothing is coming to fruition. Nothing's being done. I'm not seeing it, right? Like, we're hearing all of this stuff, but nothing's actually happening. And I had my own issues with the big, beautiful bill as well.
Why can't we just have separate bills? What happened to that? Don't these people want to actually?
I'm like, why are we putting the SNAP and food stamp and this and that? It's like, it's too much. And I think one of the things my theory is that they do that so that people will just vote yes, so that these little things that they sneak in will just pass. You know, and then, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said she didn't actually read that part of the bill.
That was good.
And I'm going, wait a minute. I mean, I know she's not running again. She said this is going to be her last term, but
Really?
that's what she said. Yeah, and she said she's not going to do it again. But my God, if we have people who are just voting,
by the way, that's analogous to that's analogous to and as bad as Bonnie's excuse on that, you know, that Epstein files debacle, where she was basically, oh, the deep state tricked me. Yeah. We hired you for that reason.
Yeah.
You can't use excuses.
They got me again, guys.
Yep.
Darn.
Yeah, and for Marjorie Taylor Greene was very outspoken. I met the woman. She's done some stuff in Tarrant County for the GOP there. She's actually very bright. You know, she's absolutely mischaracterized, you know, by the lying legacy far left media, but that wasn't good. You know, like, Come on.
I appreciate the transparency, but it's frightening to know that some people are just skimming through or running it through maybe their assistants or their,
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you have 20 members of your staff, right? To
Right.
be able to read through the stuff, which should be fine if they do their jobs.
right. If
What are
they
you
do
drinking,
their
Chris?
jobs.
Because I can't drink right now until I lose 40 pounds. What are you drinking?
Oh, me? You'll be upset with me. It's Canadian.
I love Canada. I'm
I
sorry.
was embarrassed to even tell
Is it
you.
like
I'm sorry.
Pendleton, or is it like or Crown Royal, or is it better?
Yeah, it's Pendleton's.
Oh well.
I just was excited to be able to like sip a little whiskey,
You
not
know,
bourbon,
You're
on a
welcome.
podcast.
Like I'm actually my little assistant and my staff here, because I have that now. They have they've assessed my bourbon room, and they said I need to move the podcast in there.
I like that.
I do too.
I'll come do that in studio.
Dude,
that'll be easy.
I am happy to have you, and I can do multiple cameras and the whole thing. I got it all figured out. I just have to get a table and put it in the middle of the room, and I've got like a big American flag, and I got the 800 bottles of whiskey. And I mean, I had a concept for a long time that I'm sure if I say this loud enough on this, or if somebody's paying attention, to pick out a bottle for the person that I'm doing the show with, sort of like comedians in cars getting coffee. And so, like,
that'd be great. Yeah. Or we should do a lot. We should do a live remote at our favorite chili parlor.
Your favorite
That'd be
chili
fun.
powder?
Parlor.
Oh.
Yeah, chili
I don't
parlor.
I don't know what I don't drink.
what
I don't
Tim
know what
Williams
any of
drinks.
this means.
I'm gonna corner you on this. I would like you to partner with me, because I'm supposed to have a meeting with a woman who just told me she's drunk via text and doesn't understand that I'm on a fucking live stream and keeps texting me. When I said I'm on a live stream until 8, you keep fucking texting me. I have to clean it up when I have a fancy new sponsor coming in. I'm gonna clean it up, so I need to get all the fucks out. I want to do Veterans Appreciation Month, and I want to do some stuff at the VFW. So maybe do it from the VFW, because I got a box. I donated a box of
There you go.
cigars already to take down and hand them out to the boys, and I'm going to buy a couple of rounds for everybody down there. But the fun part about the VFW, every time I go down, like on like Veterans Day or whatever, and I'm like, hey, drinks are on me for the veterans. They're like, well, there's only like 3 veterans here. I'm like, great. I'll tell everybody I went and bought for all the veterans in the house, and it'll cost me $20. Like,
Oh,
There you
lordy,
go.
lordy.
yeah. So that's actually how I started going to the VFW, which is the 3rd highest grossing VFW in the country, is the one down the street from me. in Texas.
Wow.
What does
Hey,
that
are you
mean? The
doing anything
third
for
highest.
this, what?
What does that mean? The third highest grossing.
That means they make money, and they're
Oh.
the 3rd highest money makers.
Nice.
Anyway, so
Probably selling.
yes, correct. Chris, you doing anything with Young Women's Leadership Summit? They're coming to town. You going to go over to the hotel? I'm not.
No, well, I mean, we'll obviously be there to report it, but I don't.
You sending somebody?
Yeah, I don't know too much. Should I not?
God, I'm a bad sport. Oh man, the Turning Point doesn't do anything with me, so it's fine. I'm not
That's actually a little bit surprising.
that they don't do anything with me. Well, my
Yeah.
ex was their influencer person for a while, and I worked with them for about a minute.
Well, that might explain.
And
it.
no. And then their chief creative officer at the time, by the name of Benny Johnson, stole things from me, and I messaged them and I said, if I'm going to be an ambassador for you,
Mm.
do I get paid when he steals content from me, or like how does this work?
Mm.
And they said, I was like, cool, I'm out. So I was an ambassador for them for about a month and a half. So
Yeah, it's a dirty secret in politics that the TP USA, the national women's event that they do. Is
Yes.
this the same one? Oh, it is coming to
it's
Dallas.
at the Gaylord down the street from me.
Oh. So I didn't realize that. Yeah, that thing turns into quite a party. I understand. I've
I
never
don't
been. I had an invite.
I'm invited to a dinner with the president of Liberty University, I think. And so I might go to that. Our friend Julia invited me to go with her to that. I think help them
great.
coordinate that.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, when to get me to go somewhere,
She works for me now
Awesome.
too, by the way.
to get me to
As of
nice.
today.
To get me to go somewhere, I groan and go, eh. When you tell me that it's a restaurant, a half mile away from me down the street,
You can't
I'm
really
in.
say
That's a
no,
little
huh?
different.
If I can walk it, well, I can say no. I
You
have.
can, but
I have.
That's either an Uber
A
or
walk.
maybe a minor public intoxication.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
citation.
drinking, Chris. I'm really lame. It's going to be a while before I drink again. I'm in a spot. I'm doing the self-help thing. I started taking the MSM stuff that they usually give to horses, to get your joints together and all.
Isn't I kind of a
Yeah.
cure for everything,
What is it?
including old age? You
Yeah.
just take that and then no cancer.
MSM?
Like,
Yeah. I don't have time
I don't know.
I don't have time to give you
what
prescriptions.
is that?
that's fine.
Um,
I'm
you know.
going on Monday. I'm gonna go sit in on some immigration hearings down here at the border, so that should be interesting.
Oh, your own. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's methyl sulfur.
Hey, can we all
Yeah.
answer the question?
ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I was going a different direction. I was just going to say, like, do we believe that, the whole argument around deportation right now is around due process? And I just know that people here illegally are
I
afforded
don't
due
believe
process.
they should be afforded due process. I'm a crazy concept. here.
Right.
I
know it seems simple, but people complicate it
Yeah.
for some reason.
Hey, the
Well, I think
Libertarian
the
Party of
people
New
who are
York.
renewing their visas or who have their appointments, whether they came in when they were 5 and they didn't have a chance to even, and they're going to get their appointments. I think that if they're doing their paperwork, they shouldn't be arrested while they're going to a court hearing. I think they should go to the court hearing and let the judge decide. But again, I'm talking about people who are renewing their visas, who are, going for their green card application, who came in. A lot of the did though come in through the CBP app under Biden, so that's questionable, of course. But I'm talking about the kids who came in, who really didn't have a choice and have had a valid visa and are going to get their permanent card. Those are the ones that I don't agree with. I might be in the minority,
There's a
though,
really
but-
interesting story today, actually. So the far left legacy lying media is trying to victimize the perpetrator of the thing at CU, right? So he evidently has an 18-year-old daughter. I mean, this guy's a stone cold terrorist, not even a domestic terrorist. He's not from here. He's not here legally. He overstayed his visa. She's 18, was heading off to school, and they're trying to her, and it's like, sorry, like, you weren't here legally to begin with. Your father is a terrorist. You need to go home and apply the right way. If she didn't do anything wrong, and I'm not making any aspirations or aspersions that she did, then apply the correct way for a student visa and then come back. But there's so many examples.
Oh yeah, no, the terrorist situation, the Boulder, Colorado. The family ties and those type things are so strong and so deep that I don't think in that case the U.S. should take any chances. I'm sorry that her student visa is going to be gone and she has to go home. But your dad tried to kill people, Yeah.
But why do they take these crazy use cases that are so black and white to most Americans, and then they choose to feature them, like the Maryland guy, because they all, like the fake hate stuff I talked about earlier, they all race to that narrative. They race to that narrative only to find out that narrative wasn't so clean, and then they double down on it by going and having margaritas with stuff with the guy. Have you heard about it lately?
They let that guy go. I brought that up yesterday. I had for Heritage, I do the town halls with them, and I had Laura Reese, who was the chief of staff for the DHS last time, and we were talking about that. She's like, "Yeah, they messed that one up. They dropped the ball on that."
And then it's the second that they think their narrative loses steam, they're done with it, and they're on to the next one. And it's usually a lie, and it's just unbelievable to me that people
I have
still
some
believe this
clips.
stuff.
Sorry to move to the next because we're running out of time here. We got 10 minutes. I got some clips that I actually want to take a look at. This freak, I'm tired of this. By the way, good comment.
Is this Greta Thunberg? What are we talking?
No, make sure you don't.
Well, I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Well, no, it's this guy who.
Oh, Lily Tino. God damn! Don't get me started on
this
Lily.
man who is a freak who is going into women's bathrooms and taking photos, which you're not allowed to do. Like that is. It's illegal.
I'm absolutely surprised that Lily Tino has not been banned from Disneyland. Huh?
How do you know this person's name?
because they're all over TikTok. He's all over TikTok. Everything is like, here's Lily Tino, because what he does is he goes in, he gets food at a restaurant, he sits down, streams himself all the time, and if the waiter is like, I'm sorry, sir, then he calls the manager and he gets a refund, so he's getting all this food for free, basically. So it's a whole scam. It's a whole
I think the
thing.
problem is I'm not on
And
TikTok.
then he goes into Disneyland and starts talking about private parts and eating corn dogs. And these are, there's kids on this app on TikTok. It started out as a kids app, dancing app.
This is
but
a weird
he's a
thing
nut.
for
He's
this
a
guy.
nightmare. He's an abs, and he got facial surgery to look more feminine. I don't
No, he didn't.
see a day. He showed the scars, and he was all wrapped up and was going into surgery, and but it didn't really do anything.
By the way, we back to conspiracies where we started. What happened with banning TikTok?
I hope they do,
Gone.
because there's
You
too
know,
much
Gone.
nut.
It's not here anymore. We forgot about it. It was
Yeah.
memory hold, Chris. What are you talking about? We're not banning anything anymore.
But
Magic
there's
Bullet is fine.
So we were
Lily Tino.
Can we rewind all the way back
Lily
to
Tino
JFK
does
for
need
us
to be
couple years?
banned from Disney, because going in there and taking pictures where there are kids in the bathroom, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. And he's taking pictures.
unless you're trans.
He needs
Yeah.
to be banned.
What's the difference? It's because they're
It's
trans.
ridiculous. The deport.
Yeah.
Libs of
Let's
TikTok.
check out
Back to JFK. I want to know what you two think. So did he do it himself or not? Let's just keep that
JFK?
simple. Don't have to even have it. Yeah, back to JFK. So this is we're wrapping up, and that's kind of where we start.
What did he? What do you mean? Did he do it himself?
What did he do?
No, Lee
No.
Oh
Harvey
no,
was
of course
on.
not.
God,
No. Never.
no.
There's
Yeah.
no way.
No, there's so
No.
much. I mean, is there a chance that there was a shot from through from underground? Yeah.
Triangulated Crossfire. Remember the movie? But I thought that was the bridge to the grassy knoll on the 6th floor. I don't know. We're gonna answer that question Monday.
Wow.
Are you going to
I
be
didn't
live
know he did
streaming
this
it? JFK did not.
Yeah, actually, we haven't announced.
See,
that
internet
yet. I'll be
sandworm
live
nailed it. It's over. JFK did it himself.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
so
Dan
did
Bongino
Epstein.
and-
There you
shut
go.
up. Dan Bongino and Cash will have video of it. They're going to release it.
Right.
I actually did see some YouTube thing, some scenario where the guy just insisted that like it was a movie prop and that he faked his death. Craziness. I mean, that's the problem, right? Like, there's
I want
a
to
lot
hold
of
on
that
before
stuff.
I want to talk about the Dallas Express for a second, because what is this podcast, Chris? Because I know how you operate, sir. I know exactly how you operate, and I'm like, hold on, 'Cause this is a banner. What is this?
More
What is
than
happening
the
here?
NFL. That's
Who are
okay.
these?
Oh,
Who is?
yeah. So
What's the girl, the blonde's at?
that's our
just
that
for research purposes.
I don't know the blonde girl. The other lady is our publisher, one of our publishers. Happens to be married to
Oh.
our other publisher, and yeah, and it's not a politicized. There's nothing.
Hey, y'all,
political
it's
about
Sarah.
it, generally, they do focus on a lot of city issues and around things like public safety and affordable housing and things like that. But there's a lot of lifestyle the content associated
Yeah.
with it as well.
Nice.
I like that.
That looks cool. I like the setup.
I actually should probably be in that studio right now.
setup's
Yeah,
sick.
that's our studio.
Oh, nice.
Instead, I'm here in my living
Well,
room.
if you ever need it, really, it's in your living room.
No, I
Oh.
am now. That's at the office.
Oh,
I
oh,
should be there
oh.
instead of here.
Yeah. If you ever need me to talk local, you can bring me on. I'll talk about local things.
So we are going to launch at what we call a DX newsroom. Not necessarily a podcast, but daily segments. And we're going to talk about the stories that we're covering that day, how we cover them differently than the far left lying legacy media. And yeah, and it'll probably be 5 or 10 minutes a day, but we'd love to
Yeah,
have you on for that.
I'll
of
come in.
course.
Anytime, especially about 20 pounds from now. I'll be there all the time. I've already deflated. But this is, I mean,
Yeah.
this is,
Then you'll look exactly the same as you do now because the
well,
camera
no,
has 20
my
angles.
face is always pretty good. The rest of me is the problem. But yeah, I mean, that's sorry. I saw the little banner here and I'm like, I need to click on that. What's going on here?
Because it's pink.
It was pink and blue, and that's like a whole thing. And look, in case you're wondering,
Nah.
some conservative influencers get ads for gay cruises. Me, glasses. So you know what
There
I'm
you
looking
go.
at.
That
By the way,
was out of left
I'm-
field.
I'm-
What?
I'm at-
What?
Tim knows this. Like I'm actually from Fort Worth, but I've only been living in Dallas for a year and a half. And that year and a half, I've been hit on by 5 gay guys, and some of them are pretty prominent in the community. So I don't know what's going on. Like,
Wow.
you know,
Because you're
it's
just a very
confusing.
sexy man, Putnam. You know that.
I guess to other men.
I'm not.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's an episode of Seinfeld, delightful. Which, by the way, you know, I that was the one time I was on what's it called? Not A Current Affair. What's the show that's
Was it?
No,
was it a gay
I
porn
went
thing?
on a thing to talk about Seinfeld. It's the
Because you know I'm friends with Corey DeAngelis
oh
too.
boy. You know I like Corey
He's a
DeAngelis.
great guy.
I really like his work.
I do too.
So it's
I do
funny
too.
because he's like the one guy that I wouldn't make fun of. Everybody else is fair game. He's the one. He's the one. There's
Well,
an
I just
exception to the rule every time where I just make fun of everyone and I bring up everything. But no, not Entertainment Tonight. What's the other news?
He's done phenomenal work.
What's the news magazine show that I was? Hold on, Tim Young, Seinfeld. Fuck. I don't know what I was.
That was a sitcom.
No, I was on a news show, national
Oh.
news show, and I forget what it is. It's not A Current Affair. It's the other one.
Extra or something like that.
No. I mean, it's
I don't watch. I literally watch nothing on broadcast TV anymore.
Either.
You know, part of the reason is I'm ADD, so YouTube's super convenient for me because I can go 5 minutes and just go to the next thing. You know, I do like some of those Sunday night
Inside Edition.
HBO shows. I love The Last of Us until it went totally sideways. That's an interesting story, by the way, because you've seen how their viewership has collapsed. When
Yeah.
they went
Well,
full
nobody
woke.
wants to see it, and nobody wants to see
Right.
an ugly girl. Oh, I'm sorry, a they them, because it claims to be they them, and A Current Affair, by the way, guys, not The View, not TMZ, not A Current Affair.
So this
Fuck
one
me.
episode
Inside
of
Edition.
Last of Us ended with her, you know, with her, Inside Edition, yeah. So this one episode of, it was just a few weeks ago, you know, of Last of Us, which was great the first season. I thought it was fantastic, and you know, her girlfriend gets pregnant, and the episode ends with her saying, "I'm gonna be a dad." Ratings, like it went Rotten Tomatoes from like the 90s to the 30s. Crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, people don't want to see it anymore, and Disney just did a round of layoffs. They're laying off production and marketing.
Oh, that reminds me. So as long as we're on the DEI thread, I know we don't have a lot of time because, you know, we were watching, and by the way, the tone is way down. I mean, we all feel that, right? Yeah. Like it's not like past years with Pride Month or whatever. But Southwest Airlines did this ad and it's seatbelts, right? And it's like got a male seatbelt and a male seatbelt and a female seatbelt, a female seatbelt, and then a male seatbelt and a female seatbelt. And they're like, you know, we got you covered. And actually, I think it was Carlos, who you mentioned earlier, like had this hilarious post. He goes, by the way, only one of those works. Only one of those seatbelts works.
Yep. It's good. It's good. All right, before we get out of here, what else? I had a couple other stories I wanted to cover. Did you guys see? I covered it already. Did I clear it? I cleared it. Did you see Brandon Gill today? What he did?
I love Brandon.
He's been on fire, big time.
He's best freshman, period.
Yes. Smart guy, obviously local guy.
I was in his office a few weeks ago in DC.
I was too. No bragging.
Full disclaimer.
And I did a video of what's in your office. By the way, if you have people who can process what's in your office video files faster than 4 weeks for a 5-minute program, we should talk because that's the pace. You and I need to have more meetings, Chris. All right, here we go. Here's Brandon Gill handling this leftist with her own wording about, is she a secret white supremacist?
That nonprofits
Are you a
do.
covert white supremacist?
Can I talk about the work that nonprofits do? In
No,
your
I'm
district?
asking you if
'Cause
you're
I
a
think
covert
that's
white supremacist, which according to one of your own organizations, again, denial of racism constitutes covert white supremacy. Would you like
I'm
to answer
sorry,
the
what's,
question?
I don't know what the question is.
So you refuse to answer whether you are a covert white supremacist.
I am here to talk about the essential work that nonprofits do. If you'd like
Why can't you just say no?
to ask me a
I am
question
utterly
about
dumbfounded.
nonprofits
You are on
in your
record right now,
district
and you will
or
not say
throughout
that
the
you are not a
country.
covert white supremacist?
I don't have a definition in front of me. I haven't looked at the definition. I'm not going to answer a question about my personal
That
views.
is-
I'm here to talk about the work
You're
of
not-
nonprofit
I
organizations.
no, I want to give you one more chance to do this. Are you a covert white supremacist?
Why are we so off track from the topic?
No,
of this hearing?
I'm asking you a very straightforward question.
I've heard your question. Thank you, sir.
And you're not going to answer whether you are a covert white supremacist.
I would like to answer questions about the work
This
of
is- wow,
nonprofit
this is painful.
organizations. Thank you.
That is really, really astounding. I can answer very directly that I am not a covert white supremacist, and I imagine all of my colleagues can as well.
I mean,
Wow. Wow.
He's the man.
he's like I had so much fun watching. Like again, he's fun to watch. He's exciting to watch, and you know,
You covered the NPR stuff, right? The NPR hearings.
Yeah.
You covered that. Yeah.
I
He
mean,
was
it's
brilliant.
it's and you know, I congratulated his staff on that too because they did a lot of digging. It's not just the member of Congress. It's the team around him that makes the big difference. And like,
Mhm.
man, oh man,
Yep.
that was wild.
That's
Mhm.
anyone can. Are you a white supremacist? No, I'm not. What do you look? Okay, no, I'm not. Next question. Like it's very easy.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's what they did to Trump every the second they could. Like they constantly questioned him if he was a white supremacist or not during the last administration. I think they asked him something like I think it was like 60 times or something at press conferences. So yeah. Yep. So there we go. What else did we go? Did you see Corey Mills shit show? That is unfun. No, I did not. I haven't seen Corey Mills. And there's a good one for a lot of people. Who is Corey Mills?
Who is Corey Mills? What is this? The Colorado federal judge?
I don't know. I don't read anything that you can't confirm.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Thanks. Read to yourself. What we do when we see comments sometimes is we read them in our
Read
heads.
them in our heads.
And then when they're good, the moderator, me, will pull them up on the chat. So there we go. All right, guys. It's been fun hanging out with you. Let's do this one more time. I want to get this promo in for you. Who killed JFK? You can go get your tickets right now.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. It's Monday at 6 p.m. at Community Brew Cup. Tickets are cheap, like $10.
And
It's
Julia
gonna be
Pierce is going to
fantastic.
be there. What a babe. She's going to be there, right?
There you
And I'm
go.
sure a lot more babes.
There you
Chris
go,
doesn't
yeah.
go anywhere without babes around. FYI. I learned that the other day. It's just like but yeah.
Except, well, never mind. There's a lot of babes at church too.
That's a conversation, man. I want to have this conversation because like I had a problem. I go to church, but I had a problem when I used to go to church in DC because I realized that I was just there like looking at like what was around me to like scout the crowd, and I'm like I'm here for the wrong reasons, and I know Jesus knows that, so I need to go back to a boring place.
He's feeding into you anyway while you're there.
Chris Putnam, Jessamine, Todd, thanks for being here. It's been a great hour. Glad you're here. Oh, I have to do my plug. Hold on, Kalshi. I wonder what we're betting on over on Kalshi right now. Kalshi.com/Tim Young. You go over there. Florida versus Edmonton, game 1 winner. You can see it's flipped obviously as the game is going on. But let's go into politics. This is my favorite part of this whole thing. Who will be the Dem NYC mayor nominee this year? Andrew Cuomo. Zohran Mamdani is there. $2 million into that one. That's going to be kind of a fun one. A Democratic nominee for governor of New Jersey. You can pick on that one. Who will be the next president? Who will win the next presidential election? You can put in already on JD Vance. If you want to put some money down on JD Vance, this is pretty fun. This is interesting too. What will Powell say during his June press conference? By the way, if I would have bet on the State of the Union, if I would have invested on the State of the Union, I would have been a very, very rich man because there was one of these that was like you get 2 cents. So if you put in like 47, you get $1 if you win, if you're right. But there was one that was like 2 cents that Trump would say would only reference God like less than like 3 times or something, and I would have won big. Would have won big. So There you go. Kalshi.com/Tim Young. This is so much fun to go through. I enjoy it. Everybody enjoys it, of course. Who will Trump call with before July? Mark Carney, Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, of course, at the top there. And okay, so you can go have fun with that. Guys, thanks for being here. It's been a great time. I am going to go maybe yell at someone who keeps texting me as if I'm not on a live right now. And I said I'm on a live, and they're like, send me a link. And it's like, eat a dick. Yeah.
Or a bag.
Yeah, Jessamine Dodd, Chris Putnam, Dallas Express, and we can go check out the new podcast and all of your reporting over there. Incredible reporting, incredible staff. You got to give me Tercios one night. I want to have him on here and tell him stop sending me shit every day. But I'll have him on here.
Oh well, we can make that happen very easily. He loves the attention.
He deserves it. He does actually. He's one of the few that actually deserves the attention because he's one of the best reporters in the business.
I would agree.
And he's going to. You better
Yeah, he really
keep him.
is.
Oh, look, hey, gambling is one of the many tools of the devil. Yeah, I know.
The
Well,
devil, not the devil.
well, look, it's that or taking pictures of yourself in women's bathrooms at Disney. I would rather gamble. All right, guys. Is it another long weekend for Congress? I hope that they can enjoy their weekend off. They've worked really hard. They deserve they deserve a lot of time off. They're out there working for the American people, as you know.
Are they though?
No, it's called sarcasm. All right. I will see you guys next time. I love you both, Jessamine and Chris.